Another hello from West Virginia. Anyways, let's have joke of the day because you know it is the best part of the day. So, how many South Americans does it take to change a light bulb? Well, like a Brazilian. All right, well, let's change our way into plotting points. So when we plot points, we plot them in what we call a Cartesian coordinate system, also called a Cartesian coordinate plane, also called a rectangular coordinate system, also called a rectangular coordinate plane. All four of these names represent the exact same thing, and it is our 2D system. Because what happens is when you have one variable, you have one number line to represent that variable. We looked at that whenever we were solving equations, especially when we were taking a look at solving inequalities and we were graphing the solutions to those inequalities on a single number line. So when you have that one variable, like for instance when you have that x, then we can represent that with one number line. What happens is you throw a second variable in there. Well, now you've got this second number line. How are you going to put these two number lines together? Because this is kind of an odd configuration. So the best thing to do to put those two together would be to tilt it like this and make the other number line look like this. And so that's where the second variable goes. And so oftentimes we'll have an x and we'll have a y. So when you've got that x-axis, here is that 0 point, and so we call it the origin because the origin is the beginning in this 2D coordinate plane. On this x-axis, or that first number line, you know that this is where all those positive numbers go, positive numbers go, and you know that this is where all the negative numbers go on the left side. So if we would take this number line that we have, and for the first variable, if we would take it and we would tilt it like this, then what happens is all these positive numbers come up here. So this is where all the positive numbers are going to be on your second variable. And so then all the negative numbers will slide down here. This is where all those negative numbers are going to go on that second variable. Notice too that what happens is we take this coordinate plane and we divide it up into 4 sections. These sections are called quadrants. And what you do is you label them, and you start up here in the first quadrant, and we use Roman numerals to label them. So this is going to be our first quadrant, and then to label them and to name them, we go in counterclockwise order. So over here will be the second quadrant, and then down below, working again in that counterclockwise order, this will be our third quadrant, again using our Roman numerals. And then continuing on in that counterclockwise direction, this will be our fourth quadrant, again with those Roman numerals. And so like I said, what it does is it splits that 2D coordinate plane into 4 sections. Now, whenever you plot points on the 2D coordinate plane, we use what we call ordered pairs. And they're called ordered pairs because order matters tremendously. If you mix the order up, you're going to put your point in the wrong spot. And so in order to keep that straight, what a lot of people do well, not what a lot of people do, but what we need to do is we need to consider these, again, order matters tremendously, and the easiest way to understand it is it goes in alphabetical order. I know people think mathematicians really try to make things hard. Actually, we don't. We try to make things very easy. So we try to put things as easy as possible, and the easiest way to go would be alphabetical. So x will come first, y will come second. So when you have an ordered pair, the first coordinate here will be your x coordinate. The second coordinate here will be your y coordinate. So let's take a look at some examples of being able to plot these points in that 2D coordinate plane. So what I have here is 5 examples of points, and I'm going to put them in the 2D coordinate plane. That first point is the point 1, 2. So what happens is this is my x coordinate, and this is my y coordinate. So what that means is I start at the origin, I come to positive 1 on this x-axis, that's right here, and then I come to positive 2 on the y-axis. Well, positive 2 is up here on the y-axis. And then what I do is I find where these two meet right here, and so that is going to be that point J. Now in order to plot the point 4, negative 2, what I do is, again, here's my x, and here's my y. So I'm going to go along that x-axis to a positive 4, and then what I'm going to do is go along the y-axis to a negative 2, and I'm going to find where these two meet, sitting right down here. And so that's where the A is going to sit. Now my M, plotting a negative 3, negative 2, here again, here is my x coordinate because x comes first in the alphabet, and here's my y coordinate because it comes second in the alphabet. So I'm going to go along this x-axis here to negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go along the y-axis down to negative 2, 1, 2, and once again I'm going to find where these two meet, sitting right here. So here's where the point M is. Now here's the tricky ones. These are the ones that mess people up on a regular basis. So this point E, 0, 5, again this is the x, this is the y, and notice what happens here. That means on this x-axis right here, I'm not going to move left or right at all. I'm not going to go over here, I'm not going to go back here. I'm just going to sit right here on that x-axis. But on the y-axis, I'm going to come up to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so my point E is going to sit right here. Oftentimes people get that one twisted and they'll put that 5, 0 sitting right here. But remember, x comes first, y comes second. So this here would be the point 5, 0, not the point 0, 5. So now with the last one, my point S, here's my x, here's my y. So along this x-axis, I'm going to come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And notice along the y-axis, no movement at all. No up, no down, nothing at all. So I'm just going to kick straight back here to negative 5, and there is my point S. So hopefully this helps you to understand how to plot points. And again, very simple if you just understand that where mathematicians really do try to make things easy, it's going to go in alphabetical order. Order matters tremendously. Your x coordinate will come first, your y coordinate will come second because that's the order in the alphabet. So I hope it helps. Have a great day.